Welcome back to Brighouse Town TV. I'm here with Vill. Vill, what can I get your thoughts on today's performance?
The performance, I thought, certainly first half. I mean, I don't think it was a particularly sort of brilliant game to watch in stretch of anyone's imagination. But yeah, I thought we were a bit lacklustre. I mean, out of possession, no issues. I thought we worked hard and done all the things that we're supposed to do, but we just didn't have that spark. My sort of front five or my five attacking players that were in the team today didn't have that spark, and I think they were at sort of 50-60%, which were, I let them know and made them aware of it. And the first half, showed that. I mean, I think both teams huffed and puffed without really hurting the other, and it was a one little bit of good play from there. Number 9 was a handful all game. Luke is a good player. Did all the basics well and occupied centre halves when he got the ball, and we've switched off from a throw-in and allowed it to come into his feet. Allowed him to turn and stick it in the bottom corner, which you're frustrated at because Jamie's not really had anything to do in that first half. And other than bits and pieces from distance that weren't really a problem. So at half time we're 1-0 down, and we needed a spark, we needed a reaction because I don't think it was we didn't have it in the first half, and obviously we looked to make a couple of changes. The sending off, I mean, I don't want to get involved in it. It might have been harsh, whatever, but nowadays you can't send much to referees, and I think he's got sent off for that. So that's unfortunate for them, but for us, obviously it meant we had more possession then, and the frustrating thing was we had a lot of possession, but we just didn't utilise the ball well enough. Brandon, unlike himself today, his delivery wasn't there. Everything else about his game was as top notch as usual, but his delivery wasn't there, and that's what kind of sort of let us down, really. I mean, we got ourselves back in the game with a goal from a ball into the box, and the keeper sort of gets involved in something or whatever, and I think Mo finishes it, just gets there before the keeper and finishes it for the equaliser. But then after that, it was our quality, simple as that. It was our quality that let us down. The keeper pulled off a worldie to tip it over the bar. That would have made it 2-1. But also our keepers pulled a good save off on the counter attack, Jamie. So I think they'd be happy with a point under the circumstances. I think we're obviously disappointed with a point in the circumstances, considering the pressure and the amount of certainly ball we had in the second half. But yeah, ultimately it was our final ball and our decision making that today was really poor.
I think the red card kind of helped things out a bit more. So obviously it was a bit of a controversial one from the referee from over.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it changes the complexion of the game, but I think certainly they started bright, but once it settled down a bit, we sort of started to take it to them, and I think I was more than confident as the game went on. We'd have applied more pressure, and obviously then it just becomes about sort of whether we get a chance, create one or take one. Yeah, the red card. When you're playing against 10 men, it can always be difficult. But it can be difficult for if you've got 10 men. Sorry, but it can also be difficult playing against 10 men, which it was. They still always had a threat from the counter, or a set piece. We had to stay switched on with that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, in terms of influence on the game, I mean, if I'm honest, probably 1-1 was a fair result overall, irrespective of 10 men or not. I thought, whether it would be the first half or the second half, there weren't much between the two teams. But in the end, our attacking quality let us down.
I think that's something you can improve on going into Hebburn next week.
We're going to have to, yeah, we're going to have to. I mean, it's, generally we've been quite good in that area in terms of creating opportunities for the course of the season, to be honest. Today it was just that final ball. It was just a final ball from wide areas, that final decision-making pass. When we were in and around the box, that through ball or playing it, sliding it in between fullback and centre half. it was just that today that wasn't quite there, which meant that we didn't create as many clear-cut opportunities and cause them as well. I mean, we still caused them a lot of problems, but as many problems as we usually do teams is what I'm going to say. And yeah, certainly going into Saturday's game against Heaven, we'll have another week at it, and then we'll make sure we give them a game on Saturday.
That's all good.